Hello. Today I'm going to demo how to wrap a head pin. So right here, this is a 3-inch head pin. I just put a piece of turquoise with a little brass bead underneath it. I'm going to wrap it up. So I'm going to use round nose pliers. And I hold with my index finger and thumb the beads and try to hold my thumb in place on the bottom of the head pin so that when I start playing with it up above, it doesn't turn too much and makes it harder to control if you don't have that extra grip on the bottom. So never go too close to the end of the needle nose or the round nose pliers. Try to go up at least a quarter way. If you're just doing a standard loop, just a quarter way is enough. And of course, the closer you go to the end of the tool or the top of the tool, the bigger the loop you're going to make. So I generally go with about quarter way because it's a decent sized loop, good for making ear hooks or putting on earrings, or little clusters on necklaces or charms for the end of chains. Now, if you're stringing it onto a neck cord and you want to slide it on and off, of course, you're going to need a bigger loop for that. Okay, so generally I like to hold the pliers and bend them towards me to create an almost 90-degree angle. Then I take my index finger and bend the wire over the top jaw away from me until I can't go anymore. It's going to hit the bead. And then from here, I adjust the loops of the round nose pliers, keeping the one that made that almost whole loop as it is, and then adjusting the bottom one so that it's now on the top. And then I continue the circle. So now you can see, if I let go, I have a full loop. And then I take chain nose pliers, flat nose pliers is good for this too, and hold the loop flat, like you're squishing it. But make sure that you can see that point where the wires actually overlap each other so that you can see where you're going to start turning from. So I pull with tension downwards towards the stone, making a few loops or whatever is required. Ideally, you want 2 or 3 loops. If you get more than that, it just takes away from the beads a little bit. Okay, so I always cut with the flat part facing in. So that flat part is going to go as close to the stone as I can. And that way you can really see where you're taking the cut too, and hold it in a position where you can see where you're chopping so you don't accidentally chop your loop. So I cut, always holding onto the wire by the way, making sure that it doesn't fly away and shoot anyone's eye out. And you can see there's a little fleck of wire that's sticking out. It's not sticking out very far, but that's enough that it could irritate the skin or catch on a scarf or something. So I always use the chain nose pliers to tuck that in. So again, I'm using my thumb, and now my middle finger and my index finger to really hold the bead in place so that when I squish, it doesn't continue rotating. I can actually get a solid grip. So when I use my chain nose pliers, a lot of you might think that you'd go like this, but more so, I have one side that stays stationary and only one side of the pliers moves. Like, let's see if I can do this, like this kind of thing. So I'm going to hold one end of the pliers on the edge of my thumb, and you'll find a place that works for you. That might not be perfect for you, but it's just holding there. And then with the other edge of the tool, I do the actual squishing, and that's going to squish the wire in place. And sometimes it still does roll a bit. There. Now you have a solid, professional looking loop that's actually lined up nicely, straight up and down with the center of the stone. Ta-da!